Hello everyone, my name is Jack and I have just finished watching episode 1 and 2 of Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power. Now, the question that should be on everybody's mind is it woke? And it is. It is beyond woke. It is one of the wokest shows that has both a Mary Sue and a Karen all rolled up into one character. And sadly, that character is Galadriel. I have made a list of just some of the things that she is remarkably capable of, even though in this show, in episode 1, all of the other male elves are nowhere near as perfect as she is. It's unbelievable how much of a Mary Sue she is. I have heard people who have seen both episode 1 and 2 before the release on Amazon. I have seen them talk about how much she's a Mary Sue, and I've also heard about how she's also a Karen, and it is a perfect description of her. She is a Mary Sue, and she is also a Karen. She is as unlikable as you could get to have a character that is supposed to be perfect, and yet she is the most insufferable cunt that you could possibly imagine. She is just perfect, and if anyone questions her, she must banish them. She must send them to the Shadow Realm. That is how much of an insufferable prick that she is. Now, let's get down to just some of the problems with the first 2 episodes. You have Galadriel being bullied by kids, but mainly by a boy, and she also goes and beats up the boy. You have, a very particular scene which I think is also very important. You have the scene where, right at the beginning, the eagles and the weird creatures that the Nazgul ride, the bats, long neck creatures, are seen in the battle with Morgoth. And the reason that I find that scene in particular quite funny is that they didn't ask Peter Jackson to be part of the show, right? They didn't send him a script, and he wanted a script. He wanted a script to be part of it. They wouldn't send him a script, and they just basically took the only scene that I thought was nice, and it was basically a Peter Jackson scene. There have been some architectural choices that looked nice, but those choices just felt like Peter Jackson. It felt like these people just took bits and pieces off of Peter Jackson's films and tried to make it like their own. And it's insulting. It's insulting to Peter Jackson, who worked, tirelessly for the Lord of the Rings trilogies, and to literally just have someone say, "Okay, we're just gonna nick his ideas. We're gonna nick what made Peter Jackson's films so unique in how it looks. We're just going to take elements of that and we're just going to bastardize them. We're just going to shit all over them. And of course, they shit all over the legacy of Tolkien. You know, Galadriel was a you know, very beloved character, and yeah, they just made her into a Karen and a Mary Sue all rolled up into one. You know, as an example, Galadriel is able to climb faster and better up an ice wall than all of the other male elves. Right? She is just way ahead of all of the other male elves and is able to, you know, plunge a dagger into an ice wall. Now, I have seen people who have done like mountain climbing, ice climbing, that kind of thing. It takes a lot of effort to get a ice axe into that ice because that ice is thick. She's just able to pierce it, you know, so easily because she is perfect. She is also called the commander. She is a commander in this, and I just think it's funny that all of the other like Mary Sue characters are commanders. You know, that they're just this level of authority. You know, now this is just my interpretation. I think that the reason that these Mary Sues are called commanders is because they want to command respect. That's my opinion. It most probably is wrong, but in my opinion, I think that's what they're trying to go with. We demand respect, we command respect. When one of the male elves asks Galadriel to go back to stop the pursuit of Sauron, she just refuses. She knows that there is a hidden stronghold, and guess what? She is right. Because of course she's right. She is always right. She's Galadriel, the great, the grand. She should be queen of all of the elves. She is better, smarter than anyone in all of the elven realms. Right? She is able to find the location of the stronghold. She is able to find the hidden door. She is able to find the hidden message on this table just by pouring water on. She's able to just do all of these things because she's just that smart. She's just that talented. She then gets a chance to go back to her realm, back to the Undying Lands. But she decides, no, I've got to go and defeat Sauron. Right? Which, by the way, I find it funny that she decides she wants to defeat Sauron in this show, yet she didn't want to go and fight Sauron when he was just a giant flaming eye. You know? She didn't want to face Sauron then, did she? But no, she'll face Sauron when there's no indication that he's around, or if he is around, it's in a small, enclave where he only has so many, orcs or goblins or whatever. So I just find it kind of funny in that respect. But yeah, she gets to go to the Undying Lands, and she decides, no, I've got to get off this ship. So she jumps into the sea, the literal sea, at night, and during during the day, all right, not just dawn, but it is actually day. Um, she is still swimming, you know, and I just think, okay, even by elf physiology, all right, even by elf physiology, she should be dead. She is swimming in a literal ocean, and she's still just swimming. Right? She should literally win every gold medal in swimming for the next 3,000 years. She's just that good. It's unbelievable. Then we, of course, have some of the most obvious things in this show, which is the characters that they've race changed. Alright? Oh, but before that, I did notice that the black elf, the black dwarf who doesn't have a beard, she's not the only one who doesn't have a beard. All of the I've seen in the scene where they go into the dwarf kingdom, I saw other women, and none of them had beards. Alright, so yeah, they just decided all of the dwarf women don't have beards. Yeah, I just thought I should mention that. But of course, we have dwarfs who are black and elves who are black. Now, I understand people want to go and try to have an inclusive world, right? Because we are living in modern times, or as I like to call, shit times and woke times, and we need attention because we are black, or we need attention because we are gay, straight, non-binary, and of course female, even though we can't even say what is female anymore without actually having people demand that we be cancelled, because God be it for me to say what a definition of a woman is. But yes, we have in this show black elves and black dwarves, and I noticed something. There is a racist allegory in this show, right? I don't know if anyone else has picked it up, but I noticed it. There is actually a racist allegory within this show. The black elf goes to this small inn and or tavern, and this white man goes to the black elf and says, I want to get this right. The white man asks the black elf, when is he going to let the past go? Now, the reason this is important is that it is quite obvious that in this show they're trying to say about how white people want to let the past go in terms of slavery. Because, especially in modern times, so many black people, celebrities, YouTubers, the news, institutions, they keep on bringing up about the transatlantic slave trade. They don't mention, how Africans got involved in the slave trade, or the Arab slave trade. No, they don't mention that, but they mention the white version of the transatlantic slave trade. And of course, white people, we want to get past it, right? Slavery was a bad thing, I know. Let's just move on. Let's just say, okay, this is the past. Let's just let the past lie. We don't need to bring up the past all the time, right? We made mistakes. Let's move on. Otherwise, if you keep on bringing it up, then us white people will then have to go and mention about how Africa's involvement in the transatlantic slave trade, came about, and how, African heroes went around and captured other Africans to be sold. Like Shaka Zulu. He went around and enslaved many men, women, and children. Yet Shaka Zulu is seen as a, big, important figure in African culture. And look, far be it from me to say anything bad about it. It was a different time. Of course, Shaka Zulu's gonna do those types of things, right? Different time, different culture, completely understand. However, if you are going to criticize white people for doing the exact same thing that black people were doing at the exact same time, then you have to go and talk about the black people who are doing the exact same thing. And this is, of course, to do with this particular scene. White people just want to let it lie. But, of course, the black elf has to go and say about the past and how it's relevant and all this and all that. And of course, the show makes it so that the black elf is right. The black elf is, of course, always right. And it's tiring. It's tiring. I mean, we've done 2 episodes so far, and I will be perfectly honest, I don't want to watch another episode. I literally do not want to watch another episode of this show. I do not know if I'm going to do an episode 3. Maybe I will. Maybe I won't. It's hard to say. It truly is hard to say. There is nothing that I like about this show. It annoys me. It shits on Tolkien's legacy. It shits on my childhood. And of course, it has this thing of women are superior to men. Because, of course, we also have a woman decapitating a orc, putting his head on the table of the tavern, showing off all of the men in that tavern, and says we have to move because of course we have to listen to this woman. She's managed to decapitate an orc. This small, tiny, weak looking woman is able to effortlessly kill an orc. So yes, I don't know if I'm going to watch the rest of this show. But if I do, I might actually have to have a drink before I actually finish watching this show. I don't know. If you would like me to actually continue with this series, leave a comment, leave a like. If you would like to see more of my content, please subscribe, and I'll catch you next time.